What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before we get into everything that is Wrestling with Rumors, like I say every week, every rumor that I'm about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven fact, true by the person, company, or promotion the rumor is about, they remain what they are, rumors. So with that, let's get into everything that is a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Per WrestleVotes, Becky Lynch will be making her return to WWE after SummerSlam. The I think this one just kind of states what it is. I think if I were to say anything about that, it would be Becky uh, coming back and possibly going after the women's world championship. Um, yeah, I think if anything, it would be that unless she's when she comes back, she wants to have, I guess, what would be a third match against Soruka for the women's intercontinental championship. But um, I I right now I don't see it, and the only reason why I don't see it is because we haven't really seen much of Solaruka in a while. She does not have a match for the women's intercontinental championship. She's not defending her women's intercontinental championship at SummerSlam, which is criminal in itself. She hasn't really we haven't really seen her much on Raw. She hasn't really played a factor into anything that would lead her into SummerSlam. So that's why I would say, and that's why I would say what I said about Becky Lynch having a third match against Soruka, because we really haven't seen anything from Soruka in a while, which really sucks unless she's injured. I mean, I haven't really heard anything about her being injured. Um, we just haven't seen much of her, and yeah, it just sucks. So that my best guess would be women's world championship, possibly after, and I'm predicting here, Io Sky beats Liv Morgan for that world championship match. But that is something I talk more in that in my prediction episode that will come up later on this week. Um, but yeah, but leave in the comments what you think, what will be next for Becky Lynch when she returns to WWE. And it might not even be Raw. She could be going over to SmackDown. But again, we will see. And leave it in the comments what you think. Uh, see here. So Fightful Select brings word that she has not signed a new contract, Bailey, with WWE just yet, if she's going to at all. Unless time gets added to her current deal, it will expire before the end of the year. AEW has serious interest in bringing her in and have discussed as much internally for some time now. WWE will make a big play for Bailey. However, uh, and Fightful notes, some feel her negotiations could could very well help shape how WWE contracts are structured moving forward. I'm gonna leave this as it is, and I'm gonna come back to it in just a second. Russell Votes notes that Nick Aldis match at SummerSlam with Gunther is a one and done, but the door isn't closed on his having an actual run sometime down the road. So in the contract that Nick Aldis signed to have his match against Gunther this past Friday on SmackDown, he had to sign the contract to relinquish his duties as a general manager. Once he has this match, whether he wins, whether he loses, he will be as it seems, and as Wade Barrett also said on this past Friday on SmackDown, he will be reinstated as the general manager of SmackDown after this match at SummerSlam, whether night one or night two. So Nick Aldis as GM is no longer GM, at least for now. It's temporary. For now, he is a WWE superstar who is about to have his debut match in WWE against Gunther, uh, in a day, and also his debut PLE, one of the on one of the biggest stages, on part of one of the top four PLEs at one time, called pay-per-views, in SummerSlam. And it's exciting. I've been waiting for this moment since 2023, I believe, when Nick Aldis came to WWE, became a general manager. I've been wanting to see him have a match in WWE. He's finally getting it against Gunther. However, this match goes, I am excited for this match. This is going to be a hard hitting match. If you've seen any matches from Nick Aldis whether in NWA or anywhere else, or like TNA, you know the kind of wrestler he is. You know the kind of match that's going to happen. If you haven't seen any of Nick Aldis's matches before SummerSlam happens, go ahead, get on YouTube, check out his matches. He's got some great matches that he did in the past for TNA. He's got some great matches he did in the past for NWA. Um, so yeah, go ahead, and check out those. Oh wait, NAW. Oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah, go ahead and check out those matches. They're great. So I am excited for this match. Now to get back into Bailey. Uh, in his latest update on the situation, Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer said he was told that Bailey has a big decision to make, but her WWE deal is not coming up for months. He speculates that WWE wrote her off in a way where they can easily bring her back into the story if she does end up resigning with the company. In that sense, it could be similar to the way Ricochet left WWE, considering how easy it is for WWE to release wrestlers who are signed to big money contracts like New Day. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp, also, pardon me, has spoken to agents who believe Bailey is going to be one of the first wrestlers in a position to have leverage to maybe try to get either a no cut deal, a guaranteed deal, or something like that. Meanwhile, even if AEW doesn't match WWE's financial offer, they can potentially make up for it by allowing outside bookings and very lucrative convention signings, like 30K each for each convention signing, where she will be in heavy demand after leaving WWE if it comes to that. So there is a lot going on around Bailey, as the rumors and speculations about will she or won't she leave, resign with WWE, have been getting louder, and they really began to get louder after her loss, um, this past after her loss a few Saturdays ago at Saturday night's main event to Lyra Valkyria. Um, and that's where it really started to get a little bit louder. So, as far as what happens for Bailey, her contract's not up for a couple months. But as the weeks, as the days, weeks, and months go on, with not knowing what is next for Bailey, whether she will resign, whether she stays, the rumors and speculations are only going to get louder. They're only going to get, um, more creative. And what is next for Bailey? Whatever is next for Bailey, it's it's exciting, and I look forward to seeing whatever's next for Bailey. If Bailey leaves WWE, doesn't resign, decides to go elsewhere, see what else is out there. For Bailey, she has done just about everything under the sun in WWE. I believe the only thing she hasn't done in WWE is main event a WrestleMania. But besides that, she has done just about everything under the sun for in WWE, from NXT into the main roster of WWE. So if she goes, I would. She's a first ballot Hall of Famer for WWE when that time comes. I would just simply say thank you to Bailey for everything she's done in and outside of the ring for WWE, in and outside the ring. And I just look forward to whatever is next for her, whatever that happens to be, wherever she ends up next, because she's got a lot of gas in the tank. So this is in no way is like a retirement kind of thing. She's not done wrestling. She's still got a lot left to do, a lot left to accomplish. So whether that is still in WWE or in a place like AEW or anywhere else, I look forward to whatever happens next. Um, so yeah, that's where I will leave it for now. But we move on. According to WrestleVotes Radio, there was a strong internal push for WWE Women's Champion Rhea Ripley to fully recover from her current injury rather than risk returning too soon for a match at SummerSlam. That is smart. That's a good idea. You don't want to come back too soon, especially from a knee injury. You don't want to come back too soon. You want to, excuse me, you want to, whatever the injury is, you don't want to come back too soon. You want to allow the time that you need to heal from it properly when and get the checks you need. And once you get the okay and the clear from the doctor, then come back. So yeah, you don't want to rush an injury, especially a knee injury. WWE is hopeful that she will be back in the ring in the fall season. That's what I'm thinking. Like I believe September they are we're doing we're I believe in September we're gonna have a WrestlePalooza again. I believe they wanted to make WrestlePalooza an annual thing. So I believe September will be a WrestlePalooza. I also think that's why Money in the Bank was moved from September to October because of WrestlePalooza. I believe because there's a lot that's going on in September from the World Tour, from a Mexico tour that WWE is going to be doing, from Triple Mania that's going to be happening over there as well. So there's a lot that's happening in September, and I think and I believe if they're doing WrestlePalooza, having Money in the Bank part of that was just way too much. So moving it to October made sense. And plus, moving it to October. And also, I forgot also to mention that there's also a Saturday night, well, a Sunday night uh, main event that's happening as well. So I think there's so much that's happening in September for WWE that moving it to October helps, I believe, will help WWE get from September to October, will help WWE get into October for Money in the Bank, and then go right into right into the end of October into November for Crown Jewel and the final PLE of the year, Survivor Series. So I think that is it. How that's working, why it's working that way, and why they moved one to the other. And yeah, so as we look into the fall, I believe if there is going to be a WrestlePalooza, that'll be around the time, hopefully, that Rhea Ripley will be fully healed up. I know she's healing up nicely, and they're just taking the time. But once she gets the clear, I'm thinking sometime possibly between the end of August, sometime between the middle and end of August into September, we'll possibly see Rhea Ripley return, and that is when whoever wins that women's ladder match at SummerSlam to become the interim WWE Women's Champion, we will begin to build into that match to see who is the official all around WWE Women's Champion, and it probably will be WrestlePalooza if there is going to be a second WrestlePalooza. So we will see on that. A WWE source told Votes that one reason why the company has already started to announce WrestleMania 43 watch parties for cities across the United States is to counter program whatever plans Tony Khan might have to run a huge AEW event that same weekend in the USA when WWE's biggest show of the year takes place in Saudi Arabia. Now, considering that this will be, I believe, the first time in WWE history here in the United States that we will be watching a WrestleMania that will happen in the morning. If you live here on the West Coast, in California, in the West Coast, or in like the afternoon in the East, if you live in the East Coast. So it will be the first time that we will be watching a WrestleMania that happens between the morning and afternoon, which is why WWE is having those two programs happen with Stand and Deliver one night and another WWE. I forgot. Pardon me, I forgot the name of the other WWE programming. I should have wrote it down. That's my fault. But with Stand and Deliver one night and another WWE programming another night to extend um, the day that is WrestleMania. So the way it seems to be working is that night one, Saturday, or yeah, so night one for WrestleMania, we'll get WrestleMania. And then after WrestleMania goes off and all of that goes off, so we're looking at if you live here in the West Coast, like myself, you're looking at possibly sometime between 2 and 3 when WrestleMania and the pre and the post show is done. So then you go from that right into Stand and Deliver. That's night one. Probably like a hour gap between that. So like at 3 o'clock, you're looking at probably like a post show. Uh, for Stand and Deliver, and then 4 o'clock if you live here on the East Coast, or 7 o'clock if you live in the East Coast, 7 o'clock. If you live in the West Coast, 4 o'clock. We're looking at Stand and Deliver, and then the next night, same thing again for after WrestleMania night two. After the post show, after the post show, you go into a kickoff show for the next event, and there you go. So it's really like a full day. It'll really be a full day. So for anything that Tony Khan might put on for AEW for programming to counter program it. I say go for it. This is we having choices as a wrestling fan is what's good for for us as fans to have those options, and it's good for business, and it's good for the competition of it because pro wrestling there's enough room for everybody for everything. And I know it, and I know monopolizing is a thing that companies try to do, but for I if WWE is doing counter programming for All In at the end of August, why can't AEW do counter programming for a WrestleMania next year? um, so let him do it. I hope Tony Khan. Honestly, I hope Tony Khan does some kind of programming for it and see what they have and see the matches they put together and allow the fans, allow us to make that choice of what we are going to watch on those on that Saturday, and if he decides to do something for Sunday as well. So I hope he does something like that. But either way, it's going to be a very interesting week. That interesting week for when we get to WrestleMania 43, how everything is going to work as far as now that we have a better idea that those two programmings after WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia will take place in New York. The next question I have is where is the Hall of Fame going to take place? Is it going to be in Saudi Arabia or is it also going to be in New York? Uh, we will see. We still got plenty of time to that, but yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's either way, it's going to be a good time. Per Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp, it sounds like Kevin Knight wasn't thrilled with the way his heel turn played out with AEW programming. He apparently wanted his Jet Speed team with Speedball Mike Bailey to accomplish something first before turning heel. Uh let's see here. They won the trio tag team titles with um with Adam Hangman Adam Page, pardon me. Uh I imagine it was I imagine wanting to win the tag team titles is one of those things he wanted to do. Um I'm kind of curious what else he wanted to accomplish with that heel turn. But I think that Tony Khan just felt like with Kevin Knight winning the TNT championship, the time was now to pull the trigger on Kevin Knight to make this heel turn and to do what he is currently doing now and put him in that main event spot eventually. And he's going to be in that main event spot um, against Kenny Omega and what comes from that and how they hope that match elevates him and gets him ready for future main event spots he will have in AEW. So interesting. Uh, one other thing, um, Now that WWE Radio is taking over Sirius XM's wrestling channel, the Wrestling Observer says it's expected that Busted Open Radio will cut off AEW promotion, despite Dave LaGreca loudly shouting that nothing will change in their coverage. Wrestling Observer newsletter says it will be impossible to keep AEW talent on the show now that it is controlled by WWE. That was several hours before AEW star Thunder Rosa confirmed she is leaving Busted Open. So WWE Radio. I kind of listened to it way back in the day in the 90s when they had it on an FM radio station. It was like off and on back in the day. So now that it's Sirius XM, I'm kind of curious. I am gonna check it out when it goes live on Monday, and just to get a feel for it. And it's just nice to have that option for it, especially when I'm in the car, um, and I'm curious about what's going on. I can just throw it on real quick, or just have it on in the background while I'm cleaning up in the house or whatever. So I am curious about it. So yeah. Believe it. Let me know what you think about WWE Radio on XM on Sirius XM. Let me know what you think about it. Leave it in the comments. For now, for now, this has been Wrestling with Rumors. Now, I will not be back next week for a whole new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Wrestling with Rumors will be back the following Sunday, August 9th. Now, this coming weekend, August 1st and 2nd, Einstein. Oh, mailman. Mailman. We got through that whole thing without him barking. Mailman comes, loses his mind. Anyway, so I will not be back August 1st and 2nd. So August 1st and 2nd, as we all know, is wrestling with is SummerSlam. So with SummerSlam coming up this coming week, Saturday and Sunday, pardon me, Einstein, get on the couch. Thank you. You know what? I'm gonna leave all that in because it's authentic. It's organic about what's going on in this situation. So there's no need for me to edit. I'm not gonna edit any of that out. I'm gonna keep all that in. So as I was saying, so August 1st and 2nd is SummerSlam. So with that, I will not be because we got SummerSlam. I will be giving a break to Wrestling with Rumors and replace that. Like it's just like I did for WrestleMania, where there was no episode of Wrestling with Rumors that week of WrestleMania. Instead, I did recap episodes for night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. I'm going to do the same thing for SummerSlam. Uh, so for SummerSlam, I'll do a recap for Saturday night and another recap for Sunday night to fill in the spot for Wrestling with Rumors. Wrestling with Rumors will return the following weekend, August 9th, and where I will read, discuss, speculate rumors from the past week, and talk about other things that are on my mind as well. But for now, this has been Wrestling with Rumors. I hope all of you have a good, fun, and safe week. We got SummerSlam this coming weekend. Look out this coming week for a prediction a prediction show for SummerSlam where I talk about the matches, the winners, the losers, all of it will be on that prediction show. So look out for it later on this week. For now, I'm Anthony K. Thomas. This has been Wrestling with Rumors, and I hope all you have a good, fun, and safe week. I know I already said that. Wanted to say that again. And I will see you all on that next one. And thank you for uh, dealing with the sound of the dog barking. Dogs are dogs, right? He's a good boy. But I'll see you all on that next one. Peace, y'all.